Aloha. It's your favorite friend with questionable character, Aloha, Mr. Hand, coming to you with a new edition of Collector's Corner, courtesy of the Tainted Glove Network. Now, as you know, the Collector's Corner was started during the height of the pandemic in 2020. Since there was nothing else to do, I decided to start cataloging all of my memorabilia, not realizing how much I had, to be completely honest with you, and I have also kept adding on since then. So what I want to show you today is some Hall of Fame bats. So some bats signed by Hall of Famers, and some of these are part of a program for a limited edition bat run done by the Baseball Hall of Fame for existing and new Hall of Famers. So you're going to see some bats from this year's Hall of Fame class, as well as current standing Hall of Famers, if you will, or people that have already been elected, as well as a couple other unique things as well. So why don't we go ahead and get started? So the first bat I want to show you is from perhaps the greatest defensive third baseman of all time. A man who played for the Baltimore Orioles, won 16 Gold Gloves, I think it is, and basically was nicknamed the human vacuum cleaner. That is, of course, I got it the wrong way, Brooks Robinson. There you can see his signature, Brooks Robinson, Hall of Fame 1983, with the little display of him, the Hall of Fame logo, and of course this is bat number 9 of 12. And one thing you'll notice is a lot of these bats are 9 of 12 because I am part of the program with the Hall of Fame. And I'm number 9 in the program, so that's why generally the bats I get are labeled as 9 of 12. There are some that I got that are not 9 of 12, but for the most part, they're 9 of 12. Now, the next bat I have for you is another one in that same program, but this one is for Mr. Paul Molitor. Of course, this is number 9 of 12. And here is his signature, the Hall of Fame logo, and of course the 9 of 12 there. So they started doing this 4 or 5 years ago. And they've been adding on living members of the Hall of Fame, as well as the new inductees every year. I believe the first year they did it actually was in 2016 with Griffey and Piazza. And the Griffey bats went insanely fast. I do have an autographed Griffey bat, but it is not a bat from this program. But I do have an autographed Griffey bat. I do have an autographed Griffey ball as well. Again, not part of this program, but I do have one. The next bat is another third baseman, Mr. Wade Boggs. You can see number 12 for Boston, a Hall of Fame logo there. And of course, move my hand. Look at that. 9 of 12. Yep. That's a consistent thing. And why number 9? 9's always been my lucky number. So they gave me the opportunity. They had a couple slots open because it's not based on you were the 9th person to be involved or anything like that. It was really based on people selecting certain numbers that were good luck to them. Like, one of the biggest donors has number 1 because he's the biggest donor and all that kind of stuff. So 9 was available. I took it. And there were a couple other numbers available, but 9 is just a number that I hold close. That it has some significance for certain things in my life. So that's why I went with number 9. Now, the next bat, as I said, new Hall of Famers too. This is recently elected 2022 electee Tony Oliva. Let me move that a little bit there. You can see number 6 there. Of course, he's a Twinkie. And like I said, 9 of 12. But there's the Tony Oliva autograph. Be inducted in July of this year. So, he got in through the Veterans Committee just like Minnie Minoso did. Unfortunately, Minnie is not here, so I cannot get a bat for him like this. I do have the Frank Thomas one. I do have a Frank Thomas one, which was done after his Hall of Fame year. It was done, I want to say, in 2020. that he signed them, and I do have one of those. I did get the Harold Baines one when it came out in 2019 because it was part of the 2019 class. So all the classmates of his did it that were alive. Obviously, Roy Halladay didn't, unfortunately, but I do have the Harold Baines one as well. And I have, and totally honest, I'm sure nobody will be surprised when I say this, I do have the Johnny Bench one too. But the next bat is for a guy who has a nickname that I know he doesn't like. This is Dave Winfield. There you go, number 31. Surprised he did it in Yankees and not Padre colors. And like I said, they're not all there, but 11 or 12 on this one. And of course, that nickname I refer to is Dave Winfield is known as Mr. May, not Mr. Oh, looks like this tour. Is known as Mr. May, not Mr. October. So he doesn't take too kindly to being called that. I had a friend who called him that one time at Old Comiskey Park, and he proceeded to give him the one-finger salute. I'm sure you can figure out what that is. So the next one I have here, what do I got here? Let's see, is, oh yes, the Big Poppy bat. This is the one for Big Poppy. As you can see, this is number 9 of 12. And there's Big Poppy's autograph. Class of 2022, the Hall of Fame logo. Frankly, I got this because it's continuing the program, but I think it should have been a giant steroid needle, not a bat. Just my personal opinion. Boston fans, if you don't like it, well, that's just too damn bad. Deal with it. You know, the guy cheated. He shouldn't have been elected. Just like Bonds and Clemens. If you ask me, Bonds and Clemens accomplished a whole hell of a lot more than Big Poppy did. So I take his election with a grain of salt. Just because he's a media kiss ass is the reason he got in. That's my opinion. But, okay, moving on to the next one. So, this has to be one of the greatest players I've ever seen play. Top 5, without question. Without question. That would be Mr. Ricky Henderson. There you go. 24 from Oakland. Class year 2007. Of course, 9 of 12. Again, like I said, Ricky's one of the greatest players I've ever seen play live. And I did recently get him to sign something else, which I'll show in another episode probably. And I said to him, you know, for years you just abused and harassed the White Sox. You know, and his response was basically, well, I was just having fun. Good for you, Ricky. Good for you. So moving on. Now, this is not one in the program, but this is a Hall of Famer, and it is something I have to show off because I think it looks absolutely beautiful. And that is the Mr. October bat. That's right, Reggie Jackson. There you can see the Hall of Fame branding, the career stats here, the number 44 from his Yankees days going forward. Remember, he wore number 9 in Oakland and in Baltimore. Oakland the first time, when he went back for his last year, he wore 44. And that beautiful autograph with the Mr. October inscription underneath it. Now, the funny thing about it is, I didn't ask for the inscription. He gave it to me anyway because I was able to answer a couple of trivia questions that him and Pete Rose were arguing about because they did a joint signing in Cooperstown. And they were arguing about something. And I took Reggie's side because Reggie was right on this issue. So he was appreciative of me doing that, and he gave me the Mr. October inscription for free. So I can't say all bad things about Reggie. I've seen him a couple other times, and he's very hot and cold when it comes to signings, but he was cool that day. And wearing a mask too. Now this one is unique because this one is actually a mistake bat. That I believe there are only 3 of these out there. The rest were destroyed. But this is the Jim Cott bat for the class of 2022. As you can see right there, Jim Cott, Hall of Fame logo. This was supposed to be the subscription bat. It says number 5 of 12. Reason being, the number's wrong. It should have been number 36, not number 39. And they got these out before they realized the number was wrong. So they are redoing it with a 36 in the future to correct the issue, and I will get that as well. Now, moving on, only a couple more left, so I don't mean to bore you. I find this exciting. So the next one is, again, not one of the subscription bats, but his subscription bat is coming. But it is a Hall of Famer and one of my favorite players of all time. Top two, number two actually. Number 5 from the Kansas City Royals, George Brett. This was a bat made in 1999 by the Cooperstown Bat Company. You can see it has his Hall of Fame stats there, with his picture and his career stats. Got the autograph from him. It was done, obviously, in 1999, so it's got some age on it. But George is a guy who doesn't sign often, but he is doing a private signing through a store in Wisconsin, in one of the burbs of Wisconsin. I forget the exact. It's the one that Hank Aaron used to sign at a lot, too. There's one store that Hank Aaron would sign at that every year, once a year. That's where I was able to get a couple things. And George is doing a private signing with them next month in May. So that ought to be interesting, to say the least. All right, just a couple more to go. So here I have, what one do I got here? Oh, one of the key cogs of the Big Red Machine. No, it's not Johnny Bench. That one's in storage. But it is his teammate, the Big Doggy, number 24, Hall of Famer, Tony Perez. As you can see there, class of 2000, along with Carlton Fisk in that class, Hall of Fame logo, his number, and of course, 9 of 12. And if you ever get the chance, Eduardo Perez, his son, fantastic baseball analyst. And frankly, is a guy, if ever there's a chance, I'd love the White Sox to hire him as manager. Just my personal opinion. Like it, don't like it, doesn't matter. That's just how I feel. And last but not least, since we had one red, I had to go with another, but this is something different. This is a Johnny Bench autographed bat from the Johnny Bench Golf Classic at PGA Nationals Championship course in Florida on October 31, 2021. You can see his autograph there, Johnny Bench Hall of Fame 89 inscription. And also, what else is unique? I'm going to try and get it in there if you can see it. It is number 1 of 5. That's right. There were only 5 of them. I got number 1. Wanted to get number 5, but they gave me number 1 instead. So, you know what? I'll take it. But that's all I got for you this time. Working on some other things. Working on getting some guests on to share their memorabilia as well, maybe some cards, things of that nature. So if you got any ideas, you want to see something, maybe I have it, maybe I don't know. Or if you want to show off, we can certainly do that too. So let me know when you get a chance. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later. Have a great day. Aloha. One thing to remember before I sign off. Tainted Glove is back next week. Got some interesting things in the pipe. Have another guest coming up. We're working to confirm the date. I think it'll be very interesting, and there will be a White Sox event involved with this guest. So stay tuned for that. Thanks a lot, everybody. Aloha.